Beloved child of God, that quickening in your spirit right now is why you're here. This is angel messages for you, where heaven's whispers become your divine confirmation. If this message speaks to your soul, tap that like button, your holy amen to these angelic truths. Subscribe and join our anointed community. Your presence here is a divine appointment. Leave a comment below with, "I receive this word, speak your faith into existence." For those moved to support this heavenly work, your super thanks helps. Spread these messages to more seeking hearts. Now, open your spirit and receive what the Lord has prepared for you today. What you call delay, heaven calls divine timing. Every day of waiting is not empty, it's purposeful. Your kingdom marriage is being crafted in the unseen realm. Right now, angels are working on your behalf, aligning destinies, healing broken places, preparing hearts for the sacred union coming. You've prayed for a love that honors God. That kind of love requires preparation, not just of your spouse, but of you, the loneliness you feel. It's not punishment, it's sacred space. It's carving out a capacity to cherish what's coming. The tests you're facing, they're not to break you. They're building spiritual muscles for the blessings ahead. You are not being left behind. You are being brought forward, slowly, deliberately, to something holy. You're not missing out. You're being matured. What's taking so long is not a mistake. There are details you haven't seen yet. God is protecting the purity of this connection. He's making sure that when it arrives, it will not fail. This isn't just love. This is covenant. This is alignment. This is the answer to generations of prayers. Some of your ancestors prayed for the restoration that you are about to experience. Some of the heartbreak you endured was meant to break cycles, so your children wouldn't have to. You have not been forgotten. Even when it feels silent, heaven is moving. Even when it feels slow, something sacred is being built. A delay from God is not a denial. It's a sign that the blessing is too big to be rushed. If it came too early, it wouldn't be safe. If it came before the healing, you wouldn't be able to receive it. So heaven slowed you down to speed up your purpose, the ache in your heart. It's a divine signal that your spirit already knows what's coming. Your soul feels the stir, your heart feels the stretching, and your body feels the weight of a promise too large to be ignored. The person you're waiting for, they're not just getting ready, they're being transformed. God isn't sending you someone convenient. He's sending you someone consecrated, someone who knows how to pray, how to war in the spirit, how to cover your soul, not just touch your body. Someone who will serve God beside you, not pull you away from Him. Someone who's been through their own process. Someone who understands what sacred love costs, because true love costs surrender. It costs pride. It costs past baggage. It costs control. And both of you are being stripped of what no longer serves this season. That's why it's taking time, because this isn't a crush. It's a calling. It's a mission. It's a mirror of Christ and His bride. You're not just being loved. You're being chosen, set apart. You're being prepared for a love that brings glory to heaven. Yes, it will be tender. Yes, it will be romantic. But more than that, it will be rooted in eternity. The person God is shaping for you will see you clearly, not just your face, but your anointing, not just your smile, but your sacrifice, not just your beauty, but your burden. They'll love all of it. because they were made for it, just like you were made for them. That kind of recognition can't be rushed. That level of preparation takes time. So God is protecting you in the wait, keeping you hidden, not to withhold joy, but to prevent premature pain. He's removing counterfeit connections that look good but lead nowhere. He's testing your heart to see if you'll settle, or if you'll trust, even when it hurts, even when you're tired, even when everyone else seems to be moving on. He's asking you, will you believe that your story is still unfolding? Will you stay faithful when the process feels unfair? Will you let heaven finish writing this chapter instead of grabbing the pen out of God's hands? Because what's coming will require your full heart, and your full heart needs to be healed first. You've been through a lot. You've loved people who didn't love you back. You've given your all to relationships that left you empty. You've questioned your worth because someone else couldn't see it. But those chapters were not wasted. They were classrooms, training, grounds, refiners' fires. They made you softer without losing your strength. They made you wiser without turning bitter. And now you are ready to receive something different. Not just a partner, but a promise fulfilled. Not just a wedding, but a witness to God's glory. Your story will show others what it means to wait well, to love purely, to trust deeply, to let God lead. Don't rush what God is still refining. He's not done yet. That's why the doors closed. That's why the silence came. That's why you had to walk away from almosts. They weren't the one. They were just reminders that the real thing would feel different. It won't be confusion. It won't be begging. It won't be wondering if you're enough. It will be peace. It will be clarity. It will be mutual honor. You won't have to guess. You'll know. Because God will confirm it over and over in ways you can't ignore. And when that moment comes, when your paths finally align, you'll look back and understand why it took so long. You'll say, God, thank you for not letting me settle. You'll say, thank you for every not yet that protected this finally. The person you've been praying for is closer than you think, and while you wait, heaven is working. Every delay is design. Every no is direction. Every silence is sacred. So stay open, stay soft, stay expectant, because your love story is not on pause. It's on purpose, and in the fullness of time, when everything is aligned, it will arrive, and it will be worth every single second of the wait. You've been asking, how much longer? And heaven has been answering. Until it's holy, not just until you're ready, but until it's sacred. God doesn't do rushed, He does righteous. He's not just bringing you a partner, He's bringing you alignment, vision, purpose. You won't just fall in love, you'll rise in purpose. Together you'll pray, you'll build, you'll break generational chains. You'll be evidence that waiting on God is never in vain. Do not compare your timeline to theirs. Your path is prophetic, set apart, unusual on purpose. Because what you're called to carry is heavier than most, and who you're called to love has been walking a similar road. They know what it means to wrestle in the Spirit. They've wept too. They've waited too. They've wondered if love was ever going to find them, and like you, they chose not to settle. You are their answered prayer, just as they are yours. This love won't need to be forced. It won't need to be explained. It will recognize you, and you'll recognize them. Your spirit will know, your heart will soften, your mind will rest, because for the first time, everything will feel aligned, not just emotionally, but spiritually. And that's what you've been waiting for. Not just someone to hold, but someone to hold faith with. Someone who hears God. Someone who listens. Someone who seeks. This isn't a surface-level connection. This is soul-deep, spirit-sealed, divinely endorsed, and that takes time. God isn't giving you what's fast. He's giving you what's forever. The love that lasts is the love that's led by Him. So trust the unfolding. Trust the pruning. Trust the stillness. God is clearing the way, not just around you, but inside you. So you don't sabotage what's coming. So you don't fear what you prayed for. So you don't run from what's real. There's still some healing happening. Some releasing, some growth. But it's happening quickly now. The angels are accelerating things. What used to take years is being completed in months. You'll start to notice shifts, little signs, strange alignments, dreams that feel too vivid to ignore. Pay attention. You're being prepared for a moment that will change everything. And when it arrives, there will be no striving, no chasing, no wondering if they see your worth. They will know, because God will reveal you, and you'll know. Because you'll see Him in them. This kind of love doesn't compete. It completes. This kind of love doesn't play games. It protects peace. This kind of love doesn't rush. It reverences. It honors. It builds. It stands firm. And you're being made ready for it. Every quiet night, every lonely birthday, every no that broke your heart. It's all leading you to this, a love that reflects heaven's design. You haven't been forgotten. You've been reserved. You weren't abandoned. You were shielded. God knows your heart, and He's giving it to someone who will protect it, not play with it. Someone who's been through enough to know your presence is sacred, not replaceable, not disposable. Someone who will choose you every day, not just when it's easy. They will see you clearly. They will pray over your name. They will stand beside you in purpose, and their love will feel like rest, like home, like destiny. So hold on. You're closer than you think. The final touches are being made. The final alignments are being done. And soon, God will say, "It's time." And you'll step into something that was worth every tear, every fast, every lonely prayer, every time you wondered, is it even real? It is. Not only is it real, it's on the way, and it's more beautiful than you ever imagined. You'll see why the wait was necessary, why the delay was protection, why nothing else worked. Because this was always the plan. Heaven's plan. Written in the book of destiny. Spoken into existence long before you even knew how to ask for it. And now it's unfolding. Now it's coming closer. Now it's being released. So keep the faith. Keep your heart open. Keep walking in obedience, because the next chapter will not begin in disappointment. It will begin in divine confirmation. While you wait, your future spouse is being transformed. God is breaking chains that would have hurt your marriage. Chains of fear, chains of pride, chains of insecurity and spiritual blindness. He's healing wounds that would have caused distance, wounds they never told anyone about. Wounds that could have poisoned your intimacy. He's exposing the lies they believed, so they don't project those lies onto your love. He's softening their heart, so they won't resist real love when it finally arrives. He's teaching them what love looks like, not the world's version, But heavens, they're learning obedience in the small things, obedience when no one's watching, obedience when it's inconvenient, obedience even when their emotions disagree, because God knows if they can't follow him alone, they won't lead with him beside you. So this waiting, it's training ground. They're being prepared to carry you in prayer, not just passion. They're learning how to fast for direction, not just fight for attention. They're being taught how to be still before God, so they can listen well to your soul. They're developing patience in prayer, the kind of patience that doesn't walk away just because feelings change, the kind that stays even in silence, even in struggle, because they'll understand that covenant love isn't a feeling. It's a choice, it's worship, it's sacrifice, it's mutual submission. They're growing in ways that will make them the spiritual leader or helper you need, the kind who doesn't compete with you, but completes the assignment with you, the kind who listens before reacting, who prays before advising, who waits before pushing. You've been asking God for a kingdom marriage, one built on faith, not fantasy, one led by purpose, not pressure, one guided by peace, not performance, and God heard you. He's answering. But first, he's making you both ready. Because kingdom marriage isn't just about compatibility. It's about calling. You're not just lovers. You're warriors, intercessors, builders of legacy. Together, you'll restore broken ground. You'll break generational patterns. You'll raise children in truth. You'll hold hands through fire and still worship. You'll lock eyes in the storm and still believe. That kind of strength isn't built overnight. It's forged in the quiet, in the testing, in the tears. So this isn't delay. It's divine protection. God is delaying nothing. He's perfecting everything. He's keeping you from pain you didn't know you would have faced. He's sparing you from a marriage that would have drained your soul. He's silencing distractions so you don't confuse potential with promise. He's turning your desires into discernment and your longing into legacy. Because when your person arrives, you won't just recognize them by how they make you feel. You'll recognize them by how they make you pray. They'll push you closer to God, not pull you away. They'll speak life into your calling, not compete with it. They'll honor your weaknesses, not exploit them. And they'll love your scars because they'll understand they're part of your strength. That kind of love can't be rushed. It must be revealed in due season. And the season is almost here. Heaven is aligning every detail, down to the day, the timing, the posture of your hearts. Even the city you're in has been chosen with purpose. Even the delays were divine detours that kept you both on course. Every not yet was God's hand redirecting you from a counterfeit. Every closed door was a gift in disguise, even the heartbreak that almost broke you. It was necessary to soften you for what's holy. You've grown too. While they're being prepared, so are you. You've learned how to stand alone, so you'll know how to stand together. You've learned to hear God's voice, so you won't idolize theirs. You've learned to be faithful with no audience, to be whole, without needing someone to fix you. You've grown in wisdom. You've grown in strength. You've grown in grace, and now you're becoming the person they've been praying for too. Someone healed, not perfect, but honest, humble, holy, someone who can pour out without running dry, someone who won't run at the first sign of difficulty, someone who's not just waiting to be loved, but ready to love well. This is what divine timing creates. A match born of heaven. Not hype, not haste, but holiness. Two people willing to wait for God rather than force a connection. Two hearts rooted in purpose, not just pleasure. Two lives laid at the altar, willing to say, God, have your way. So don't lose heart. Don't believe the lie that nothing's happening. So much is happening, more than you can see, more than you can feel. And soon, so soon, you'll see the fruit of every moment you stayed faithful. You'll understand why you had to cry alone, why you had to say no to lesser loves, why you had to be misunderstood while choosing obedience, because what's coming will make it all make sense. And when it comes, it won't be shaky, it won't be conditional, it won't be one-sided, it will be steady, it will be confirmed. It will carry peace, the kind of peace that only heaven can give. So keep praying, keep preparing, keep growing. Your future spouse is doing the same. Heaven is not late, heaven is exact, and the God who began this work in you is faithful to complete it, including your love story. You will look back and say, this wasn't a delay, it was divine alignment. And your joy, it will overflow, because it will be real, rooted, righteous, and forever blessed. Your joy will not be rushed. It will be released in fullness, in God's time, in God's way, with God's hand over every moment. You will not have to chase this blessing. It will chase you. Because what is sent by heaven does not need to be forced. It will find you. It will fit you. It will flourish with you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are in preparation. And that is the most sacred space of all. The my season of preparation may feel lonely, but it's never empty. Heaven fills it with power, with grace, with insight, with clarity. You're being strengthened for the weight of answered prayer, because love that lasts carries responsibility. It requires maturity. It demands humility. It calls for forgiveness before offense even shows up. That's what you're learning now. To forgive ahead of time, to trust beyond words, to love with spiritual vision. You're being taught how to stay planted even when emotions try to run. Because when God gives you someone, He gives you an assignment too. You are not just preparing for romance. You're preparing for war, for intercession, for covering their name in the Spirit, for standing in the gap when they are weak. They will do the same for you. Because this is divine partnership, not just affection, but assignment, not just compatibility, but covenant. And that covenant is worth protecting. So heaven has hidden you, covered you, closed doors around you, because not everyone was meant to touch this version of you, the version that's healed, the version that's whole, the version that knows your worth, does not decrease in the silence. This you, the one who prays, the one who listens, the one who trusts when there are no signs. This you is dangerous to the enemy, because you're becoming the partner that Satan fears, the one who will love with purity, the one who will forgive with mercy, the one who will birth generations of peace and prophetic power. Your future spouse is becoming this too, not perfect, but surrendered, softened, set apart. God is removing the ego, the fear of intimacy, the need to perform, the old expectations, the soul ties, the trauma. Piece by piece, heaven is restoring what the enemy tried to ruin, and you You are being matched in heaven before you're united on earth. So don't rush the earth when the heavens are still writing. What you're about to receive has divine fingerprints all over it. It won't look like what you imagined. It will look like what you prayed for. When your heart was most honest. When your tears were loudest. When your spirit said, God, I surrender. Send what you know I need. That prayer was recorded. It echoed through eternity. And angels were dispatched to begin the work. That's what this season is. The fulfillment of a whispered prayer. You may not even remember now, but God remembers. You sowed in faith. Now you will reap in peace. You trusted when it didn't make sense. Now clarity is on the way. You stayed hidden when the world begged you to settle. Now you'll be revealed to someone who sees your soul and says, I see God in you, this person. They won't be intimidated by your strength. They'll celebrate it. They won't shrink in your anointing. They'll stand beside it. They won't silence your voice. They'll lift it in prayer, and you'll feel something you've never felt before. Safe. Safe to love. Safe to rest. Safe to dream again. Because when love is sent by God, it brings rest to the soul. No more performing, no more wondering, no more shrinking yourself to be accepted. You'll finally be seen the way heaven sees you. Chosen, called, covered, cherished, and you'll be able to love them with the same sacred clarity. You'll see their scars and honor them. You'll hear their silence and understand it. You'll speak life where others spoke shame. You'll become their answered prayer too. Not because you're perfect, but because you're positioned in God, in faith, in alignment. So don't despise this season. Don't resent the wait. You're not being punished. You're being trusted. God trusts you with timing, with silence, with sacred preparation. He trusts that you won't abandon the process just because the process hurts. He trusts that you'll keep praying even when nothing seems to be shifting. And oh, how much is shifting that you cannot yet see. Chains are breaking. Souls are waking up. Your name is being whispered in places you've never been. Your voice is echoing in hearts you haven't met. And the one who is coming. They are dreaming of you more than you know. They may not even realize it yet. But they feel the pull. They feel the preparation. They feel the quiet urgency that something is about to change. And when they meet you, they'll know. Not because of logic, not because of checklist compatibility, but because of divine recognition. Their spirit will say, I've been waiting for you. And you will respond, I stayed faithful for you. That moment will redeem every tear. So hold on. The season is turning, and the glory that is coming will be sweeter than anything you've ever known. Because it's from God. And when He writes the story, it always ends in redemption. Notice how old attractions don't move you anymore. What once caught your eye now feels empty. What once excited your heart now feels unworthy of your time. That's not coldness. That's clarity. That's heaven maturing you. See how your standards have become non-negotiable. How your soul refuses to settle for surface-level charm. That's not stubbornness. That's sacred alignment. God has been renewing your discernment, teaching your heart what's real, training your spirit to sense the difference between counterfeit and covenant. This isn't coincidence. It's spiritual growth. You're not becoming too picky. You're becoming too anointed to entertain what's not meant for you. You're not closed off. You're covered. Heaven is guarding your heart from distractions that look like love but lead to delay. You're being weaned from superficial desires, from fleeting attraction, from ego-driven chemistry. That's why some doors are closing without your help. That's why people you used to chase now feel like faded echoes, because what you're hungry for is no longer emotional entertainment. It's divine partnership. You're being made hungry for godly companionship, someone who sees your spirit, someone who speaks your language of prayer, someone who doesn't just want your body, but wants your purpose beside them, someone who walks in integrity even when no one is watching, someone who gives peace, not confusion, clarity, not chaos, honor, not guessing games. God is awakening you to the kind of love that mirrors his heart, and to receive that kind of love, you must first recognize it. That's why the shift happened. Your taste has changed. Your vision has sharpened. Because if you don't know the value of what you carry, you'll settle for someone who can't carry it with you. That's what God is preventing. A marriage built on false starts. A connection rooted in neediness instead of anointing. So he's preparing you to recognize the real thing when it comes, not just by looks, not just by words, but by fruit, by peace, by spiritual confirmation. And he's doing the same for your future spouse. They're being awakened too, to see differently, to choose wisely, to feel deeply, but follow heaven first. That's why you've had those sudden urges to pray for them. They come out of nowhere, but you feel them strongly. It's like heaven is tapping your shoulder, whispering, "Pray now." They need covering, and you don't even know what for. But your spirit knows. That's intercession. That's divine partnership. Before you've even met, your prayers are forming bridges between two hearts that will one day beat as one. Every time you speak their name in faith, even if you don't know it yet, heaven hears, angels move, chains break, healing begins. The dreams you can't explain, the ones that wake you up in tears, the ones that feel too real to be imagined. Those are heavenly confirmations. You're not imagining things. You're being shown things, snapshots of a future that already exists in God's timeline. Sometimes you feel their presence. You hear their voice in prayer. You see their silhouette in a dream and feel peace, even if you've never met. Don't dismiss it. Don't downplay it. It's real. God is not teasing you. He's preparing you. Your marriage is being orchestrated. Heaven is working behind the scenes with more detail than you can fathom. The timing, the location, the introductions, even the emotional readiness. It's all being divinely arranged. This isn't just a romance. It's a prophetic move, a joining together of purpose and promise. So when you feel the holy discomfort in your heart, that inner stretching, that sudden hunger to fast, to pray, to seek God more, that's not random. That's alignment. Your spirit is tuning itself to the frequency of what's coming. Your soul is making room for someone heaven has chosen long before you ever prayed. Even the silence is sacred. It's the quiet room where heaven's scribes write the next pages of your story. So stay faithful. Stay soft. Stay open. Don't let weariness trick you into compromise. Don't let loneliness convince you to return to Egypt when you're almost in the promised land. You are too close now to go backwards, too transformed now to pretend you haven't grown. You can't unknow what God has shown you. You can't unfeel the confirmation in your soul that something holy is coming. Even if it's delayed, it's not denied. Even if it's quiet, it's not cancelled. Even if it's taking longer than you thought, It's still in motion, because the one who promised is faithful, and the love he's preparing is more than a moment. It's a ministry. More than butterflies, it's a blessing. More than good chemistry, it's kingdom covenant. So embrace this season as sacred preparation. Heaven is still building, heaven is still aligning, and when the moment arrives, it won't feel like pressure. It will feel like peace, not a question, but an answer. Not confusion, but confirmation. Not striving, but surrender. That's how you'll know. That's how you'll feel it. That's how you'll recognize what you've been praying for. So trust the process. Treasure the stretching. Honor the growth, because every bit of it is shaping you for a marriage that reflects God's glory. And the moment you see their eyes and your spirit rests, you'll remember this waiting and say, "It was worth every second." You'll say, "It was worth every second." The silence, the solitude, the long nights where you cried out to God, not knowing if anyone heard. Heaven heard. The angels documented every prayer, every whispered, "God, I trust you even now." And because you waited in faith, God is responding in fullness. You didn't settle for what made sense. You waited for what was sacred. And that decision, that quiet obedience, shifted generations. Yes, generations, because this marriage is bigger than just the two of you. It's generational healing. It's a prophetic torch passed from one line to another. You are breaking what broke your parents. You are healing what haunted your childhood. You are restoring what religion tried to suppress. You are saying yes to a new legacy. And God is sending you someone who understands the assignment. Someone who will not run when it's time to confront darkness. Someone who will cover you when spiritual warfare gets heavy. Someone who will walk through fire with you and still say, "I'm not leaving." That's not just romantic. That's righteous. That's covenant. And covenant requires courage. So, God is building courage in you both. Every time you choose faith over fear, you grow. Every time you say no to temptation that once used to rule you, you grow. Every time you let go of someone who couldn't love you well, you grow. You're being made strong in the spirit, not for pride, not for control, but so that when love comes, you don't sabotage it. So that when your spouse opens their heart, you don't close yours. So that when conflict comes, and it will, you don't run, you pray, you stay, you war together. This is not Instagram love. This is intercession love, built in the Spirit. Long before it becomes a hashtag, you won't need validation from others. Because God's confirmation will be enough. There will be peace. Even when things aren't perfect, there will be honor. Even when there's tension. Because the two of you will be rooted in something deeper than personality. You'll be rooted in purpose. And where there is purpose, there is power. Power to withstand storms. Power to birth vision. Power to raise children in truth. Power to minister without needing a stage, because your love will be the ministry. How you forgive, how you serve, how you show up for each other, that will speak louder than any sermon, and people will watch your union and ask, how did they find each other? But you'll know, you didn't find each other. God brought you together. You were both walking toward Him when your paths aligned. It was never about chasing a person. It was about chasing purpose, and purpose always leads to promise. So while you wait, keep walking, keep obeying, keep becoming, because they are doing the same. Right now, They are making hard decisions that are shaping them for you. They are releasing toxic habits. They are leaving comfort zones. They are growing in areas that they once ignored. And some of their biggest breakthroughs will happen just before they meet you, because heaven always perfects before it presents. They'll arrive not flawless but faithful, not perfect but prepared. They'll come with stories, with testimonies, with battle scars and lessons, and you'll see them. Not as a project, but as a partner. Not as someone to fix, but as someone to walk with. That's love. That's maturity. That's what God is birthing in this wait. And when they arrive, you'll understand why you had to protect your heart so fiercely, why the enemy tried so hard to distract you, to break you, to convince you to settle. Because your union is dangerous to darkness. Your love will shift atmospheres. Your agreement in prayer will open doors no man can shut. So of course the enemy tried to wear you out before the breakthrough. But he failed. You're still here, still believing, still preparing, and that faith is what activates heaven. So expect the signs, expect the sudden changes, expect the divine encounters that don't make sense to logic, but align with prophecy. Your spirit will know the person you're praying for may not come when you expect, but when they arrive, they will come with confirmation, and you'll feel peace where you used to feel panic. You'll feel calm where you used to feel confusion. You'll feel chosen, not because they said the right words, but because God said, "This is the one." And when he says that, no fear can stop it, no delay can block it, no past mistake can cancel it. Because what God joins together, no man can separate, and what God prepares, no enemy can prevent. You are getting closer, not just to them, but to yourself, the healed you, the strong you, the aligned you. And when you meet your person, you'll realize God wasn't just preparing them for you, he was preparing you to receive them. And now you're almost ready, so don't lose hope. Don't rush the ending. You're still in the middle, but the glory is coming. Soon, you'll walk into the moment that was written before you were born. You'll stand face to face with someone who sees you fully and stays, and you'll know, with a holy certainty, this is what I prayed for, and God did more than I asked. He gave me someone who doesn't just love me, they were made for me. God is positioning people who will affirm your union. You won't have to fight alone to be understood. You won't have to defend why you chose each other. God is already touching hearts, in families, in mentors, in circles of influence, to create an atmosphere that blesses your bond. He is preparing voices that will speak life over your marriage. Words that echo heaven, not confusion. Support that's rooted in faith, not control. He's sending people who will cover you in prayer, not gossip. People who will celebrate you, not compete with you. People who will see the purpose of your connection and honor it. And at the same time, he is removing relationships that would have hindered your destiny. Connections that seemed good, but weren't God. People who felt familiar, but weren't fit for where you're going. You may not have understood it at the time. Some endings felt cruel, sudden, unfair, but heaven saw further than your eyes could see. God isn't just protecting your heart. He's protecting your future. That door that closed unexpectedly, it wasn't rejection. It was redirection. It was making room for divine connections you didn't even know you needed. Sometimes, the greatest blessings are the ones we never asked for. Because God answers prayers we didn't know how to pray. He protects us from what we were about to settle for. That disappointment you experienced, the one that left you questioning your worth, that was protection. Holy, unseen protection. You didn't lose, you were spared. It wasn't a delay in love, it was a divine interruption. God stepped in because you are chosen, because your calling is too great to be tied to the wrong person. So he allowed the discomfort. He allowed the silence. He allowed the exit, because he knew if you stayed in that place, it would cost you too much. Your peace, your power, your purpose. Heaven doesn't mind breaking your heart for a moment to save your destiny forever. That's love, the kind of love that guards your future with the same tenderness you use to guard your dreams. Every no has been leading you to God's perfect yes. Every rejection has been a quiet rescue in disguise, and every closed door has shifted you closer to divine alignment. You're not just losing people, you're gaining space for God-ordained connection. And soon, very soon, you will look back and say, I'm so glad they walked away. I'm so grateful that didn't work. Now I see why the no was a gift. Because the yes that's coming, the one from God, will bring so much peace. You'll forget what it felt like to force things. You'll forget the sleepless nights, wondering if you were too much or not enough. Because the one that's coming will remind you, I was made for this. You are the answer I've been praying for. There will be no confusion, no competition, no convincing, just confirmation, peace, and quiet joy. You'll notice the shift. Suddenly, the doors that open will feel easy. Suddenly, conversations will flow without trying to prove anything. Suddenly, you'll walk into rooms and feel the presence of someone whose spirit is already tied to yours, and you'll know. This was what the wait was for. This was why that last relationship had to end. Because if it hadn't, you wouldn't be ready to receive the real thing. God is not punishing you, He's positioning you. Every step of the journey has been strategic. Even the pain, even the silence. Especially the silence. Because in the silence, you learn how to hear God more clearly. You learn what His no sounds like, what His protection feels like. It doesn't always come with soft words. Sometimes it comes with distance. Sometimes with blocked access. Sometimes with unanswered calls and closed hearts. And though it hurts, it heals, because it puts you back in the hands of the one who knows exactly what you need. So trust the removal, trust the quiet goodbyes, trust the unfollow, the disconnection, the friendships that faded. It's all part of the divine edit. God is editing your circle so your marriage won't have to carry unnecessary drama, so your home won't be divided by people who were never meant to sit at your table. You're not being isolated, you're being insulated, protected, covered, set apart. Because what God is building in your life is too sacred to be tainted by the wrong influences, and what's coming will need protection, not just from external forces, but from internal compromise. So He's training you now to walk in discernment, to say no quickly to what doesn't carry peace, to bless and release what no longer fits who you are becoming. And who are you becoming? A vessel, a warrior, a spouse in waiting with divine wisdom. Someone who sees love through the lens of heaven, not just emotion. Someone who asks, does this draw me closer to God? Instead of, Does this make me feel good for now? That shift, that spiritual maturity, is what makes you ready for a real covenant. So don't mourn what God is. Removing, celebrate it. Even if your heart still aches, even if your hands feel empty, your spirit is being filled with vision, with clarity, with trust. And in just a little while, your eyes will see what your spirit has already sensed. The one who's coming will not be sent to test you. They'll be sent to join you, to help build what God placed in your heart. They'll recognize your value without needing a trial period. They'll step in gently but confidently, because God will have confirmed you in their spirit, just as He is confirming them in yours. This is what heaven has been preparing, a connection that doesn't need to be forced, a love that doesn't need to be explained, a peace that doesn't make sense, but feels like home. That's what the no's were for, to make space for a blessing that carries weight, a love that carries God. And when it comes, you'll walk into it without fear, because you'll know this was the yes heaven waited to release, and your soul will finally rest. When your kingdom marriage manifests, it will confound expectations. People will stare in wonder, not because it's glamorous, but because it carries God's glory. Not because it checks every box, but because it breaks every curse. Not because it fits the world's mold, but because it follows heaven's blueprint. This marriage will not look like the movies. It will look like ministry. It will carry laughter, but it will also carry power. It will contain beauty, but it will also contain breakthrough, not because it's perfect, but because it's anointed. Every scar, every flaw, every weakness between you two will be wrapped in grace, God's grace. You won't boast in how easy it is. You'll boast in how faithful God was to hold you both through the process, because it won't be easy. It will be ordained to reflect Christ and His bride, ordained to shine light in dark places, ordained to withstand storms that would have destroyed a lesser union. When you look back, you'll understand why it took time, why you had to grow, why they had to mature, why the silence was necessary. You'll remember those lonely nights with different eyes, grateful eyes, because you'll see that every lonely prayer was planting something sacred. Every fast, every act of obedience, every moment you chose to stay hidden was making way for something holy. You'll see how every season served a purpose, even the dry ones, even the broken ones, even the ones that left you aching. They were not detours, they were divine design. Every delay was development, every heartbreak was pruning, every not yet was heaven's way of saying, I'm still perfecting what you prayed for. You'll realize God wasn't punishing you with time. He was preparing you with purpose, and the story He was writing could not be rushed, because some love stories aren't just for romance. They're for revelation. And this one will reveal something holy. It will reveal the power of surrender, the beauty of waiting well, the reward of trusting God, even when your heart longed to move ahead. This love will be sacred because it was built in secret, covered by heaven, hidden from harm, formed by fire. You and your spouse will not be trophies of perfection. You will be testimonies of redemption. People will ask, how did you find each other? And you'll smile, because you'll know you didn't find each other. God revealed you. You'll say, it wasn't luck. It was legacy. It wasn't coincidence. It was covenant. Your very union will silence doubt. Your very presence together will shift rooms, not because of status, not because of popularity, but because of the presence that will rest on your marriage. Chai, peace, the weight, the grace, it will be evident, because this union was crafted by heaven's hands. You didn't force it. You didn't chase it. You were led to it by obedience, by faith, by unseen hands that guided both your hearts in ways you still can't explain. So stand firm in this waiting season. Don't rush the unfolding. Don't resent the silence. God is not late. He's intentional. He's still writing, still pruning, still protecting, and when it's ready, you'll know. There will be no begging, no doubting, no confusion. It will come with peace that surpasses understanding. The kind of peace that quiets fear, that settles questions, that assures your soul. This is it. You won't need to justify it to others, because it will justify itself. The fruit will be undeniable, the confirmation will be unshakable, and the anointing will be unmistakable. This won't just be a spouse, it will be a sign of restoration, a sign of divine alignment, a sign that heaven honors those who wait well. Your marriage will not just be for you, it will be a lamp on a hill, a light to others who are still in their waiting season. It will say to them, don't give up, don't settle, don't compromise. God still writes love stories that are too holy to rush, so stay rooted, stay ready, stay pure in heart. God is not asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to trust, to keep preparing, to keep seeking Him first, to keep becoming the spouse you are praying for. Because the moment of unveiling is drawing near, and when it happens, everything will change. Your name will shift, your identity will shift, your story will shift, and what was hidden will be honored. What was painful will now make sense, and what was delayed will now be delivered with divine fire. Because when God opens a door, no man, no timeline, no demon can shut it. And when He says it's time, there will be no resistance. The heavens will agree. The earth will confirm it. Your soul will rejoice in it. So hold your peace. The preparation has not been in vain. Your tears have not been wasted. The isolation has not been empty. It was the sacred space where God made you ready to carry something eternal, a marriage that lasts, a union that ministers, a love that reflects heaven. And when it arrives, you'll know. This was the moment He was preparing me for all along. This was the moment He was preparing me for all along. You'll stand in awe, not just of the person beside you, but of the process that got you here. You'll feel it in your spirit before it ever reaches your hands. A stillness, a knowing, a weight that feels like peace. This is not just a celebration of love. This is a manifestation of obedience. Every sacrifice, every act of trust, every time you chose holiness over haste, it will echo in the halls of this moment. You'll remember the times you cried alone and hear heaven whisper, "This is why I made you wait." Because what's coming isn't just for companionship, it's for commissioning. You and your spouse will be sent together, not just into each other's hearts, but into the world to build, to restore, to testify, to awaken others who stopped believing that God still writes stories like this. Together, you'll walk with divine favor. You'll carry oil, You'll walk in grace that confuses the enemy because your love was not manufactured. It was manifested, not from your timeline, but from God's eternal one. That's why the timing felt so strange. That's why nothing before them worked. It wasn't because you were broken. It was because you were preserved. Your heart was kept sacred. Your purpose was too heavy to be partnered with someone who didn't have the strength to hold it. So God delayed it. He refined it. He assigned angels to keep you hidden until it was safe, until the appointed time, until the transformation was complete, until your love could be trusted to reflect heaven, not just satisfy earth. And now the shift is near. You're stepping into the part of the story where prayers become reality, where dreams become conversation, where visions become vows. You'll wake up one day and realize it's no longer just hope. It's happening. Not perfectly, but powerfully. You'll still have to pray, still have to die to self, still have to choose love over pride, over fear, over past habits. But this time, it will be different, because this time you'll be doing it together. Two becoming one under the covering of the Most High, not rushed, not confused, not compromised, but clean and clear and divinely covered. You'll look at them and not just see a partner. You'll see God's faithfulness in human form, someone who didn't arrive early or late, but exactly when heaven whispered, now, and the timing will make sense. You'll look at them and thank God for every lonely year, because the weight protected the weight, and the weight made you both deeper, stronger, purer, the kind of depth that can weather storms, the kind of strength that doesn't leave when things get hard. You'll understand that God wasn't just writing a love story. He was writing a divine display, a showcase of grace, of surrender, of promise. So don't look at your waiting season as wasted. It is where heaven has been working hardest, behind the curtain, in the silence, in the prayers that no one heard but God. Every yes to obedience has watered the soil. Every no to temptation has protected the roots. And now, the fruit is near. Your union will not just be seen, it will be felt. People will walk near you and feel peace, feel honor, feel heaven, because it was born of fire, born of surrender, born of purity. This marriage will not just bless you, it will bless generations. Your children will know what love looks like. They will know what prayer looks like. They will see two people walking with God and with each other. You'll break patterns they never even see. You'll repair gaps that started long before you were born. Because God is not just healing you, He's healing bloodlines. Through this union, your yes to waiting was not passive, it was powerful. It was a war cry in the spirit, a declaration that said, I refuse to repeat what broke me. I choose God's way, even if it costs me time. And heaven responded. Heaven said, I will honor this sacrifice. I will reward this obedience. I will send a spouse who is not just compatible, but called. And now it's coming together. Little signs, holy nudges, unexplainable peace, strange but sacred alignments. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Because when your kingdom marriage manifests, it won't need to prove itself. it will carry a fragrance of grace, of God, of peace that passes understanding. People won't say they look perfect. They'll say they look chosen, not just for each other, but for something bigger. You'll know that you didn't force this. God formed it. So trust. Keep trusting, not blindly, but boldly, because the hand of God is on this story. And when it's finally revealed, the only thing left to say will be, "To God be the glory, great things he has done."